View from the Gutters presents Back Matter, Rose City Comic Con Wrap-Up Report 2015. Well, welcome to a special Back Matter Wrap-Up Rose City Comic Con 2015. I'm Andrew Chard.
Wrap Matter.
I'm Kayleigh Fleeman.
I'm John Waite from Arc Reactions.
I'm Tobiah Panshin.
And I'm DeForge.
Yay! And we were all at Rose City Comic Con yesterday.
Yeah,
feels like longer ago than that. But
it does. I feel like I've been in a time warp for the last 4 days.
Yeah, it was a good little con. This is my first time going. You guys went last year.
Yeah, we did. We had Joe with us last year. Unfortunately, he and Curbotron couldn't make it. They had to go to a wedding.
Yes.
Yeah, for like some sibling or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Nobody important to
Family.
this conversation. Point was that they weren't there, but that means that Chard got to go, along with Mannix and Allison and Kelly from Out of the Fridge.
Yep, we all went.
And John and Dylan were both there as well.
Yeah, Dylan was only there for Saturday, but I was able to go for both days.
Yeah. And we had a good little time.
I'm curious how it compared to last year, because I didn't get to go last year.
Yeah.
It was a lot bigger. And this is, I think, the 4th year of Rose City Comic Con, like, at all.
That's what I'd heard.
And the first year, from what I understand, it was really small, and it got a lot bigger. And then last year, it only grew like a tiny little bit. And that year, it seemed almost sparse. Like, there wasn't a huge crowd. I mean, there were definitely people there, but nothing compared to this year. The convention center was absolutely packed. I felt like I was at Emerald City, to be honest.
Really?
Emerald City of a couple years ago, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, because I did not get that feeling.
Well, the Oregon Convention Center is a lot smaller than the Seattle Convention Center.
Yeah.
But when, like, in terms of density for the size, like, it felt that, like, I was just wading through a crowd every minute of every day. There were not lines the way there are at Emerald City, but there were an awful lot of people.
I would say midday on Saturday, it felt like year 9 or year 10 of Emerald City, just before they expanded to fully fill out the Washington Convention Center.
Yeah.
Like before they got the 6th floor and expanded the show floor. It kind of felt like that to me.
Emerald City feels, maybe it's just not as well laid out, or people are all going for different reasons, but Emerald City, I always am like fighting through a crowd. Like, it is just, you're just forging against the stream. But Rose City, I was able to like actually get places, and it felt like you could just walk up to a lot more creators and talk to them, and the lines were maybe like 3 people deep.
I honestly never had to stand behind more than one person to talk to a creator, which was really nice. Last year, it felt like a really big local convention. And, I mean, local for a city. This year, it really felt like it was a regional convention.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see what they do next year, because, I mean, I don't know if there is a larger structure for them to occupy in the city of Portland or not.
They'd have to go to the MC, the Memorial Coliseum, or the Rose Quarter to get something bigger, I would think.
But I don't know how they could expand much over what they did this year.
I would say another day is probably the thing they're going to go to before another building.
Would probably make the most sense.
And I would love to see that in a 3-day con, because I don't know about you guys, but 2 days was not enough time in Portland for me. I was there all day Friday, but there was no con. We went to outside of the show events, but I could have used another day of convention, I think. And with Emerald City being like, what, 5 days now?
It's 4.
They're
10
adding,
days.
They're adding
1
Mother's
billion
Day
days.
A month long.
to Emerald City. I don't
It's
quite
like
know what they're
Hanukkah
going
now.
to do
7
with that day.
glowing days.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I just hope they push everything out. I hope they don't cram more in. I hope they just kind of spread things out a little bit, because one thing I will say about Rose City, this reminded me a lot of Denver last year. So Denver last year was on its 3rd or 4th year. The panels were really sparse, but the show floor was excellent, like super wide walkways. This one didn't have quite as wide a walkways, but it was a burgeoning con. It was growing. And then this year, they had a ton more panels. I was way more busy with our interviews this year, so I didn't get to go to a lot of them. But I'm hoping that if Portland grows it the same way as Denver did, that next year is going to be really good for Portland.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to see what they do with this show, because I really like Rose City.
Yeah.
At this point, Emerald City almost feels too big.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And if I had to pick between the two of them, like as much as I like seeing the big name creators and getting my stuff signed, I feel like just emotionally this con was a lot more productive for me in terms of getting to talk to creators, getting to interface with people, being able to just walk up to a table and say, hey, like, what do you have here? What have you been doing?
Yeah.
What am I looking at? And actually talking to the person about what they're working on and what they've done and what they're about. And it was really, really cool to get to interact with like a lot of independent creators.
And it felt laid back enough that you could actually spend time with people.
Yeah, absolutely. I never really felt like I need to stop talking to you because there's a line behind me and I'm being rude to everybody else.
Yeah.
Which was good. And they had some good panels. I feel like the panels were a little bit better last year.
Yeah, I'm not much of a panel person. Did you guys go do panels?
I went to a few. One of the things I said this last year on the con report, one of the things I really like about the Rose City panels is that they stray away from the feminism 101 or representation 101. The things that at this point you should know. Like if that's what you're interested in, there are resources available online. There's enough of a discussion that you can learn about it. And these panels are there to further that conversation, not just reiterate everything that you should be learning. Also, apologies to our listeners. I've been sick all weekend, so my voice is, very sexy right now.
So Kayleigh is patient zero for con cred.
Yeah. I was probably the one that gave it to everybody.
Yeah, that's patient zero.
Yeah,
that's
good job.
That's you.
I'm really excited.
I'm
Yeah.
a happy little chimpy.
But did you go to any panels this time?
Yeah. So I went, and this is funny too. So I went to what was technically the Bitch Planet Spotlight panel. It really turned into the Kelly Sue panel, and everybody that I've talked to, and Kit pointed this out too, it was like they just called it the Kelly Sue panel, not the Bitch Planet panel. But she had a lot of great things to say, especially about the role of Bitch Planet in like comicdom, and she was saying she has no illusions that Meninists or MRAs are picking this book up and going, oh, hey, wow, I was wrong about this. So her goal with this book is not to educate, it's to make people who are already on board uncomfortable in their feminism so that they will become active and do something instead of just doing lip service to feminism or to representation in comics. And it was a fantastic panel. Valentino Delandro was there, and I cannot remember his name, but he did the art on the penny roll issue for Bitch Planet. And the only part of his name I can remember is something the fourth.
Robert Wilson.
Robert Wilson the fourth.
Okay, perfect. He was there. The panel was fantastic. There were a lot of great listener questions. And there was a lot of testimonials of people who were saying what this book meant to them. And it's just awesome to see that. And to see people who come up and who are deemed by society as fat or ugly or, anything. And they can say no, this book was awesome because it was me. It was me a couple years ago, or now I look at myself as penny roll, and I can face every day as the next challenge, and I don't feel brought down by everybody. And then I went to one other panel, which was the iZombie Spotlight panel, and that had Mike and Laura Allred on it, and then also always forget his name, the actual writer of iZombie. Yes, that one.
What was the name?
Chris Robertson. And Mike and Laura are adorable.
Yeah, they
are perfect in every way.
Mike almost ran me over on a hoverboard.
Yeah, actually, I walked up to his table, and there was an older gentleman with a beard, like kind of like a stubbly beard behind the table, and I'm like, oh, that must be Mike Allred. And I was standing behind somebody waiting to say hello, and this dude on this fucking like weird rolly board thing that looked like a Segway with no handles.
It's the thing
just
Wiz
rolled
Khalifa.
up next to me and Kit.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, what's up? Or whatever. And I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? And I look at his badge, and that's Mike Allred.
Yeah.
He almost like sort of like, I don't know, like my arm kind of swung back and I like kind of almost hit him. And I was just kind of like half turning like, oh, sorry, dude. I just wanted to meet the Allreds. Never mind. I'm just going to not say anything anymore ever.
He grew a sweet beard since I've seen him last.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I saw him at Emerald City, he did not have that sweet, sweet beard.
Yeah, correct.
Important con update.
Yeah.
Beard growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of sweet
There
beards
are
at this
a lot
con.
of beards at this convention.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about Mike and Laura, because, you know, they're married, for those who don't know, everybody would ask these questions directed at Mike about his art, and every single time he would turn to Laura and just be like, she did that. She's amazing. It was her coloring. Like, it's fantastic. My art would not be the same thing without her. And it was just like, it was really sweet. And it made me all warm and fuzzy inside to see that relationship, not just between like man and wife type thing, but just between an artist and his colorist.
Would you even say between partners?
Yeah. I might even.
She's so shy, too, that it's so funny.
Yeah.
It makes it even more adorable.
Yeah, and he's just like, look at her. Like, she's wonderful. She's perfect in
She's
every
like,
way.
no, I don't want to be interviewed. Like, she's so quiet and so funny.
And John and I caught the podcasting panel with the hosts of Rachel and Miles Explain the X-Men, the British History podcast, and the Kaiju cast. And that was really interesting. A lot of the content was kind of for people who were thinking about starting podcasts more than for us. But after the panel, I got to meet Nick, who does a podcast that is also syndicated on the Outhousers along with ours, called Comic Reflections.
Oh, cool.
And he and I got to have like a half-hour long conversation, which was really awesome. Just kind of talking about our setups and the way that we do our shows and kind of the different struggles that we worked with. So if you're listening, Nick, hey, how's it going?
Very
What's
cool.
up?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed with kind of the information we got out of that panel, though. Like, we were hoping to get some information about marketing and monetization and those sort of things, and they kind of barely touched on it at the end. There were a couple panels, though, that I did enjoy. There was one called Comics on Campus, and I was hoping it would be Ben Saunders, who runs the Comics Minor program at the University of Oregon. But what it turned out to be was the students in the minor who create a student magazine of comics called Art Deco.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I was able to pick up the first 2 issues there at the con and kind of just see like the burgeoning comics creators of the future, like before they're known. And so it was really interesting to just see what the students are making and just to hear them talk about organizing this and, you know, getting the funding for it and figuring out everyone how to do their jobs, figuring out how to work ahead, how to meet your deadlines, that sort of thing. So it's really awesome. And if I was in college right now, I would so love to take a comics minor program. I missed the boat on it by about 10 years. But,
Quick question for you. Is that Art Deco or Art Ducko?
so see, the whole
Whack.
time I was sitting there in the panel, I thought it was Art Deco, and then I picked up the free one they were handing out right there and saw it's Art Ducko because it's the University of Oregon, the Ducks.
Gotcha.
So, yeah,
Okay.
it is
It's-
duck themed.
Yes.
Okay.
And the University of Oregon was there in force,
Oh,
which
God.
I thought
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
the weirdest part of that whole
I
convention.
don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of adorable. Like,
I mean,
I mean,
yeah, I
like
guess.
their mascot was just like,
Oh,
you
I
know,
didn't
you have
see
all
the
these,
mascot.
yeah, you have all these like
You
cosplayers and
didn't
they're
see the
giant.
mascot?
No, somehow I missed the
That
mascot.
duck was halfway up
Oh,
ins all the
My
time.
God.
But
Duck
Ben
was
Saunders,
everywhere.
who founded the program, he was doing a ton of panels. So yeah, the Oregon was there and recruiting and
Yeah.
everything. For sure.
You know what my favorite thing that wasn't there was the creepy fucking clown. There was a one booth
that was there. There was a clown there.
Well, last year he was like running up and down the aisles, honking this horn, doing this horrible laugh, and scaring everyone. And I think they must have asked them to tone it down a little bit. 'Cause
Yeah.
there was that that booth for that, like, I'm not sure if it was like a costume shop or
Fright Night. It's three different haunted houses in the Memorial Coliseum and Rose Quarter.
They mostly kind of stayed contained to their booth this year, and I think maybe the con management must have kind of asked them to do that because last year they were like roaming around the con scaring people.
They had a lady dressed up kind of like a gargoyle who was walking around getting a picture taken.
She was something else.
Yeah, that was an awesome costume.
Yeah, and Kit and Kayleigh, you both did the cosplay thing both days. Did you guys want to talk about the cosplay stuff a bit?
I spoke to a lot of cosplayers. That's mostly what I did as far as while I was here. There, rather. When you were talking about the expansion of the con, I can't say this is my first time going to this con, so I don't have a basis of comparison really, but most of my time was spent talking to other costumers and, you know, just getting some kind of basics like, hey, where are you from? You know, what brought you out? Things like that. I don't think it's all as local as a lot of people are thinking because I spoke to people from Texas. One girl was as far as Maryland, which was very odd. Wow. And that was really interesting. But we had people, you know, coming up from Southern California also. I sat out and talked with a lady, really, really great Zelda cosplay. That was great. And she had come up from, I think, like Arizona or something. And so the majority of what I was scoping out was people's costumes and then watching artists' work. So cosplay was getting down. I had to say there were a lot of, you know, there weren't as many as I expected from, because my con experiences and con career in the past, I'm a San Diego vet. So everything is small compared to that. So I'm always kind of like, yes, all the cosplayers, and I'll always get a little antsy. It's kind of like when your friend invites you to a party, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like a really nice thing, ball gowns and everything, and you're like walking through the door like, oh my God, where are all the ball gowns? But then once you actually sort of got out on the floor, there was a fair amount of people and a lot of enthusiasm. Yeah. Portland is one of those that thankfully is really pushing the cosplay is not consent thing. Kayleigh?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about that. It was fantastic. I think every year that I've done a cosplay or even just worn like a cool shirt or something like that, I have had somebody hug me without permission or like grab at something that was on me, like a bag with a pen or, you know, something like that. Just like, oh, let me see that. And they would grab, and that's just something, you know.
It's a can you not?
Yeah, it's like, could you not do that? Like, I kind of on high alert right now. I'm in a large crowd. I don't like being grabbed. That did not happen this year at all. I would get people who would get really excited, come bounding towards me, and I'm like, okay, here it comes. They're gonna jump on me. They
would not touch you.
And then they would say, can I hug you? They would full stop. Can I hug you? And then you say, yeah, sure. And then they would just like leap at you and give you this massive hug. And it was great because it was like, oh, this is wanted. This is consensual. This is great. And I just really loved that.
Yeah, I'll hug a thug. I'll hug any thug.
Yeah.
So it's always this funny kind of thing where you get people who would, believe it or not, argue against the cosplay is not consent thing because they're like, oh, well, it just creates this wall between people who want to get to know each other and like what you like. Why are you being standoffish? And that's so not the case. It's a lot of people. When it comes to that, again, it's like huge crowds and everything else. I know I'm somebody that has to go outside like every, maybe every hour and a half or something. Just too many people, like as enthusiastic as you get about the idea of sharing things with other people who like what you like. It is a reality for a lot of people that you just can't feel like you don't have your own sense of space. But there was just as much enthusiasm from people as I've gotten at other cons, but there was so much more a culture of respect than I've run into in a lot of places. Like I spent a lot of my con time in Southern California, being a young anime convention person. A whole lot of that is hugging and screaming. But it's really, really nice to see that enthusiasm directed toward the material more and people asking questions. How'd you make this? Or or like, hey, where did you come from? I liked this. Have you read that? And actually engaging with you.
Cosplay's changed a lot too.
Yeah.
Something that cosplayers we talked to and something I noticed too was people were doing more than just dressing up like a character from a specific scene. They were taking mashup ideas. They were extrapolating stuff from like tiny mentions in a show. We talked to an awesome Rose Quartz cosplayer who dressed up in like period specific clothing, and she was like, oh well, this is inspired by that one time that Steven finds a picture of the gems in Amethyst's room, and they're in like a different period costume, but it's like, oh yeah, they're really old, so like they're creating their own fiction through their cosplay. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, there were a lot of really cool variant designs.
So creative.
And I talked to a number of illustrators there who said that they had seen people dressing as their illustrated versions of characters, which was really cool for them to have that experience.
Yeah.
Probably the weirdest thing to me, though, was just how many Deadpools there were. I literally could not turn around and not see a Deadpool.
We lost count of Harleys. We were at 11 before we entered the door on the first day. I think we were only at 3 Deadpools at that point, though. But yeah, it's always a good game of count the Harleys, count the Deadpools.
I got to knock down my Joan Rivers con attitude. That's something that I've had to confront myself with.
No, can you please do a show that is Joan Rivers style cosplay judging? Can you do that for me, Kate?
That's something, though, this particular con, I'm glad I was confronted with my attitude a little bit on things like that. I was talking with Kayleigh about some of the things. I get a little like Joan Rivers-y about like, seriously, another Harley Quinn or things like that. And it's, you know, you can take it and be like, yeah, there's a lot. Or you can take it and be like, hey, a lot of people are having interest in this character because of X or Y. Sometimes that's a really good thing. Like seeing, again, starting to see Hawkeyes coming around and people not just doing movie Hawkeye, but people who really like Matt's Hawkeye run. You know,
it changes every year. Who is the like most cosplayed character changes with kind of like the cultural.
It's fun when you see these other heroes that, you know, a couple of years back maybe a whole lot of people wouldn't have given time or attention to, but because of the astounding writing that's being done for them or the great teams that are working on these characters, they're finding new audiences and people who really, really love them. And it's so cool when somebody is not only dressed in, you know, a costume for one of those characters, but they start going, oh my gosh, are you caught up? You know, did you like the part where? And, you know, and they want to have a conversation about the book. And I've seen many cases when I was there with other cosplayers where someone's going, I don't really know what that particular thing is. And they go, oh, you know, it's so-and-so's run on this character. And they say, have you read it? And it becomes a book talk from costumers, which is one of my favorite things.
And one of the things, because I did Kate Bishop on Saturday, and I did her, like, circus outfit. And so I actually had a woman come up to me, and because I had all these arrows in my wig and stuff like that. She's like, I love your wig and I love your headpiece. I want to take a picture of it because I love it. I have no idea who you are. And so I started talking to her about it, and she said that she was going to pick it up. And it was just, it's cool because it's not like, oh, well, I can't believe that you don't know who that is. Like, what are you even doing here? It's just like, let me share this thing that I love with you.
Yeah.
And cosplay is a great way to do that.
Yeah. To double down on that, a few years ago, I saw a guy in an Iron Fist costume, the classic one, the yellow and green. I had no idea who the character was, and I went and asked him, who is that? And he started telling me about Iron Fist, and now, you know, I've run into Iron Fist stories since then, so it's like, oh, I know who that character is.
One of my favorite things is that I saw probably a couple of dozen Thor cosplays. One of them was a dude. Just one. Every single other one was a woman, and I thought that was really awesome.
Dude, the Avengers Sailor Scouts, though.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, I did not see that.
You didn't see them?
No.
Oh, man, you missed it. It was awesome.
I saw a Harley Sailor Scout, too.
Yeah, and it's fun. You're talking about remix culture and things like that a little bit. And it's so much fun to do costuming as it is. There is a certain degree of burden that you get when you start getting really obsessive about source material. Again, about the remix culture thing. It's really nice to see It's difficult enough to try to do things accurately, but
Yeah.
I really admire the kind of people that take something like you said and get really creative with their interest in a character. And so I think probably this con had the highest population of people remixing characters that I've seen at any con, actually. And I really got my wheels turning on that. That was fun.
Did anyone see the Cassandra Cain Batgirl?
Yes.
No.
Are you talking the
One with the
Bombshells
full face coverage, like her No Man's Land outfit, but she had goggles and a paintball mask covering her mouth. And I kind of thought it might be a mashup with like some steampunk maybe or something with Cassandra Cain. I mean, it didn't look quite accurate to the costume. I mean, the costume was accurate, but the face part didn't look quite accurate, but it was really well done.
No, I missed that completely. There were so many cosplays, and people change every day because cosplayers are crazy. That there was just too many to see. Yeah, there was some really, really cool ones.
One shout out that I want to do is that Odin
Yes.
was walking around.
Yeah.
He was amazing, and I didn't get a chance to get a picture with him.
He was so nice. Somewhere there is a picture, and we're having a good time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, with like this little girl who was Loki. It was so fun.
I want to do a shout out to my favorite cosplayer, which was like this, I want to say like 3-year-old girl who was dressed up like Squirrel Girl.
Oh my God.
And we
Yes.
tweeted that picture if you go to our Twitter. So ridiculously cute.
There were a couple Squirrel Girls, which made me really happy.
Yeah.
More Harry Potter cosplay than I really expected.
I didn't see any.
There's tons. There's like
That's
Hagrid
happened.
was there.
Oh,
There
yeah,
was
I
like
did
a
see
whole
Hagrid.
group
Yeah.
of schoolgirl, not schoolgirls, but like girls in
Hogwarts.
the Hogwarts school
Yeah.
robes. And then there was the Snape that was there too. There was just like more than I expected. It's because the movies haven't been out for a
Yeah,
long
there
time.
were a lot more Homestucks than I expected. They kind of went away for a while when the comic wasn't updating, and it's kind of intermittent at this point, but
Yeah.
they seem to be on a resurgence. And there was this one person who was doing a troll costume with horns that were seriously like 4 feet tall.
They were insane. They
And
were
then-
gorgeous. They were
Yeah.
insane.
They're still called stuccos, by the way.
Sure.
Daggers.
I'm gonna make it
No,
stick.
I
and
want
I'm
them to
gonna-
be candy corns. I love the little candy corns. They could be joy.
I'm trying to get that to stick as a fandom name for Homestuck.
It will be stuck
Yeah,
quite well.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
More importantly, I think congratulations are in order for our own Kayleigh about her acceptance.
Yes, I
Yeah.
have been officially accepted into Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
That's right.
Because
really-
Hagrid gave me a letter.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about that you're a Valkyrie now because you can do that too.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, I can do that. Wow.
Which I don't know that you thought about that until now.
Well, I wanted to be a part of the Valkyries, and then my heart was just broken because I was like, I can't be a part of the Valkyries because I don't work at a comic book shop. But now I do.
Yay!
woo.
So now you can be a Valkyrie.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because they do a Valkyrie brunch. For people who don't know what the Valkyries are,
I don't.
They are women who own or work at comic book stores.
Nice.
And then there are honorary like Valkyrie den mothers. I'm sure that's not what they're called. That are like Kelly Sue DeConnick and Kate
Kate
Leth and Gail Simone, and they always do like a brunch. But it's it's a great new movement in comics. And when we interviewed Kelly Sue, she talked about how important the Valkyries are to comic book writers now, and that comic book writers are specifically marketing towards Valkyries, and that's like a huge shift in the market. And how she thinks that the Valkyries are, she was like, mark my words, but like 10 years down the road, you'll start to see how big of an impact the Valkyries actually were on the world of comics. And so they're a very cool organization, and if you want to support the Valkyries, you can shop at Shops with Valkyries and
Awesome.
check out their website and stuff. But
Yeah, so you were running around most of the con doing interviews.
Yes.
What was your experience? Were there any highlights you want to talk about?
We interviewed so many people. First highlight, of course, is this beautiful Mary Jane's pint glass that I got from Robbie Rodriguez,
Nice.
who does the art for
Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen, yes.
Yeah.
That's. I don't know why that slipped my mind. I was like, Mary Jane? Nope, that's not right.
The other one.
We did. Oh, I talked to Jacob
Saman.
Yeah, who writes Goners, and he was really excited. He listened to the Views episode and said he really liked it, which is great. And I interviewed him later, which was really fun.
And he gave me a free print.
Yeah, and then he got me a trade, so that was very cool. And he did really well at the con. He sold everything, so that's super good. I heard a lot of creators did super well at the con. I know Kurt Busick sold out of everything that he brought.
I was gonna say, I saw that on Twitter afterwards. Yeah. Sold out of everything on Saturday, so brought a bunch more on Sunday. Sold out of that too.
Yeah. I got to interview Jim Mahfood, which was probably the highlight of my evening because we did that right before I left on Sunday. It was really fun. So I was running sound for Out of the Fridge, and I brought a cameraman, and so we did the audio video production for a lot of their interviews. They interviewed a ton of people. I have a list back here, but
just for reference, where can people find these interviews if they want to check them out?
They'll be on the Out of the Fridge YouTube page. So I'm not editing them, so I have no idea when they'll go up or what they'll be. If they'll all be together or if they'll be separate, I'm not sure. We were just doing the capture footage on it, but
we'll absolutely link to that on our Facebook and our Twitter when those come out.
Yeah, some of the highlights: Gail Simone for sure. Chris Yost, I think Mannix lost his mind getting to interview Chris Yost because Mannix loves X-Men so much. But he held it together during the interview, but 10 minutes later he was like, I just interviewed Chris Yost and lost his mind. That was pretty fun. We interviewed the Shutter team. So Lila Del Duca, Layla. I think it's Layla.
I think it's Leela, isn't it?
I think it's Layla. I think she said Layla.
Layla.
We interviewed Mike and Laura Allred, Paul Tobin, Colleen Coover, Bandette. So really cool team interviews. The Blood and Gourd guys and the Junior Braves of the Apocalypse, which are both Northwest guys.
You guys should totally support Blood and Gourd. I believe their Kickstarter is still going on.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it should be.
It's a great campy horror comic that takes place in Olympia.
Yeah, somebody remind me. I will add the link to that to our show notes.
Yeah.
I just want to share a little anecdote because Kayleigh was telling me about that there, and the way she was describing it to me worked much better than their email to us because they emailed our show as well. And I looked at it, I'm like, I don't know if I'm interested in that. And then Kayleigh started describing it. I'm like, okay, I'm interested in that. So you did a much better job than they did at promoting it.
So basically they need to hire you to be their
hey,
promoter.
Guys,
okay.
Yeah, I'll promote you. I'll do it for free. Just give me comics and I will do all your promotion.
More comic books need hype men. And women.
It was really fun to interview creative teams either together or separately because we did Chris Cibola and Ibrahim Mustafa of High Crimes. We did those guys separate, and so Robbie on Friday told us to ask Rico about his band. So that was fun during the interview. So creators kind of fueling interview questions for their partners that they're working with stuff on. That was really fun. But yeah, interviews was really great. It was just fun to walk around and I didn't do any shopping. I mean, I was pretty much working the whole time. So one of the best parts for me of the con was I slept for 12 hours on Saturday. We got back to the hotel room at 7:30, and I crashed out and didn't wake up till 7:30 the next morning.
Rose City, the con where you sleep.
I don't. If anyone knows me, I don't sleep ever. So that was just a dream come true for me to have that much time to sleep and just to get to crash in a hotel near enough to the convention center to be able to do that. It was beautiful. John, sleeping.
We also did an interview.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was just going to promote, you joined us for our interview
joined crashed.
We asked you to crash.
Full sprinting to get there, pushing my way through the crowd to get to an interview with Erik Larsen.
Yeah, and he had just gone to the bathroom when you arrived, so you didn't need to do that.
So I got there, I was super sweaty. Sat down right between John and Dylan, so I'm sure that was fun for both of them.
I didn't smell anything, so you're good.
Good deal. So
look for that probably tomorrow. Well, I don't know when this is going up. Tuesday.
It'll probably be okay. So yours will probably be out before ours will, because I think we'll put ours out. I don't know when.
So
later in the week,
Friday,
let's say
Wednesday,
Thursday, Friday,
somewhere in
like
that.
Yeah, I'm
so
hoping to get
we'll
mine
link
up
to that.
We
too.
are very official.
We're
We have
planning
strict
behind the scenes.
schedules.
we got to spread these things out. You
Right,
don't want
we
to give people
just-
too much at once.
We just put an episode out today, so we can't drop another one tomorrow.
too much
That's
too
too
soon.
much.
And there was a back matter on Thursday that I'm still getting through. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Too
with the
mu-
fake geek girls. That was a lot of fun to record. Although I totally forgot 3 of our 4 mics, so we had a very weird mic issue that ended up with there being a lot of ambient noise, which I feel very ashamed about. But we're going to do another episode with them in a little while and not make that mistake.
Those, like I always say, make a lot of mistakes, make them early and often, and you'll figure it out, man. It's the best podcasting advice I can give.
Here's a
people.
podcasting pro tip.
Yeah.
Don't drive an hour and a half away and leave your mics on the coffee table.
Definitely don't do that. So I packed on Thursday to go down, or I packed, I think, Wednesday, because I didn't go home on Thursday. I don't remember. Something weird happened where I had to, pack way ahead of time. And so the whole time we were driving down, I was like, I forgot everything.
Yeah.
I was just, having panic attacks.
Well, see, that's what I did. I thought I was being efficient. I packed early.
Yeah.
And then I just grabbed everything, and I'm like, I packed early. I checked everything. I know it's all here. Missed something.
Man, for people who don't know, I used to tour with music, and that is always the biggest fear is leaving something essential behind on a show you're getting paid for and you're supposed to be a professional for is the worst feeling on the planet. So I get so I have nightmares about that.
the weird thing is when I feel like I'm forgetting something, everything's fine. It's those times
Right.
I'm like, I'm sure I'm good.
Yeah.
And that's when I forgot
Exactly.
something.
Well, I know that I'm going to forget something. And so I always plan. It's like, okay, what's the thing I'm going to forget? This time, toothpaste. Not the worst thing in the world.
No, the hotel's got that. They've always got extra toothpaste.
But we actually did not stay in a hotel.
Oh,
we,
yeah, that's right.
we stayed with our
Thanks,
friends Frank and
Frank.
Barrett, who
Yay.
are the greatest people in the world.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Shout
Love
out.
you guys so,
So
much.
many cats.
Shout out to Frank
So
and
wonderful.
Barrett.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the reason I
Cat
was there,
life.
the reason I was there 2 days and Dylan was only there one is I was staying with my friend because I was already on vacation in Portland at the time. So that made it super easy. Just hop the bus down, walk 2 blocks. I'm at the convention center. Dylan drove down for the interview and then drove back same day. So that's
Yeah.
why he was only there Saturday.
I just want to relate very briefly. After the con on Saturday, we drove back to Frank and Barrett's, and then we went out for Five Guys. And as we were driving, I had them queue up the episode, I think it was for Hip Hop Family Tree, where Joe is jingling his keys at the beginning and reduced an entire car full of people to tears.
That is the funniest
Yeah.
opening
That is
of all.
our
God.
best cold open ever.
I don't even know how that happened. It's still you can hear the disbelief on my voice. It's how did I start? What happened here? I was so mad.
That is my absolute favorite.
I had
Vegan
to leave it
Gutters
in.
moment.
I was gonna cut
Yeah.
it while we were recording. I had planned on cutting it, but then
No.
listening back to it, I was like, "That's too good. I gotta leave that in."
Yeah, that is our crowning
It
achievement.
was so funny. Joe has just the comedic timing on accident, right? He is a brilliant savant of accidentally being funny.
So I obviously haven't been here for these Joe adventures, but we're going to get our own because he's going to join us on Bat Books for Beginners, Dylan and I.
Good
That's
luck.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about it from some of the things you
You
said
brave
about him
soul.
bleeding across mics and
Oh.
stuff. So.
Yeah, Joe is a
set
production
him,
nightmare.
1 foot back from the microphone, and he'll be fine.
No, yeah, Joe. I want to build an isolation booth in the studio
Dead to me.
just for Joe.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those times when he starts yelling and I'm like, okay, can you start that over again? Because you just pegged out everything.
I just want to put him in a different room. I
Just
love
in
him,
general.
but no, just in general,
Far
just
away.
somewhere separate. No, he's so loud. He's the loudest human being I've ever met.
I mean, really. I mean, we've talked before about how the window in our studio goes nowhere.
Yes.
It's just a gravel ledge that opens to 4 other windows.
Yep.
You should just put them out there,
Put
close
your-
all the windows.
Oh, that would make
with
it
just with just a little
Let him
cord running in through the
scream.
gap.
that would make a great
Scream through the
isolation
window.
booth.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
That's a brilliant idea. We'll do that next time. Put
Awesome.
a chair out there with him.
Very good.
At least let him face the window so he can see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Like,
Hey,
I
only
mean,
if
mean
he's
about
good,
it.
Let him earn it.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any con stories that they'd like to share?
Yeah, so I, as you can hear with my voice is significantly better than what it was at the con. Most of the time I would try to talk to somebody and gross like cracking noises would come out instead of words. So I didn't do a whole lot of talking the first day. And then I did a little bit of talking the next, but I was mostly just kind of like keeping it to a minimum because I didn't really want to stress my voice out and my throat was hurting. But the people who I did talk to, I would hand them our business card and I'd tell them, kind of, oh yeah, we do this podcast, so, we do comics. And I was amazed at the number of people who knew who we were.
Yeah.
And that's never happened. And it was so cool. And I would get like, talk to creators like, oh yeah, we did it. We did a review of your book. And I think I had like 6 different people, like 6 different big name creators that I just love say, oh yeah, I listened to that episode. I really liked it.
Yeah.
And that was just such a great feeling. Like, oh yeah, we're doing something here. And,
yeah, I love handing people a card and being like, oh yeah, I know who you guys are. Like, that's one of the best feelings ever. But I got a lot of it at this con too. It was really good.
Well, I made, like promotional little packs, I guess. I took our business card, our sticker, and then I used like a Thor or a Hulk sticker to stick them together. And I wrote my name and my Tumblr on the back. And I've been getting like a bunch of Tumblr followers. So like promotional wise, like this was a great con. And most people, like I just kind of joked, like you can just throw away the business card and our sticker. There's a Thor sticker and that's the important part. And like, it was just, I don't know. It was a good con.
Yeah, I want to do a special shout out, by the way, to Louis Whiteford and Tyler, who both came out to meet us, and an apology to Harley Jackson, who we missed, despite his best efforts. I'm so sorry. Yeah, this is the second time in a row that we've missed him. I'm so sorry.
We need to plan like a real meetup again.
Yeah.
Because it was tough. The thing about conventions, if you've never been to a convention, is the minute you walk into them, they are a black hole of cell phone service. You cannot communicate with anyone. Yeah. I said about 15 times while we were there, I was like, why did I not buy walkie-talkies? Because I joked about that at Emerald City when we left. I was like, I need walkie-talkies because you need some way to get a hold of one another. So.
Yeah.
It was not actually too bad for me this time. There were only a couple of places where I really ran out of cell phone service. Because in the past, it's just been like, no service, no internet, no nothing. And I was actually able to keep fairly up to date.
Yeah, because your phone's searching for service, it dies really quickly. And that was what happened to me. Like I saw that Harley send us a message and I started to text him back and my phone died. I was like, well,
dead phone con.
I certainly hope somebody else got that message because I can't do anything about it.
I talked to a lot of creators, and everybody that I talked to, I gave one of our business cards, and I took one of theirs. And I did a quick count when I got home, and I have 30 business cards. So I'm going to be sending a lot of emails, kind of, hey, we saw you at the con, kind of thing, just to follow up. And I did actually want to do one special shout out to an artist whose prints I bought at the con this year, and of course now I don't have it pulled up.
You've got it right here. I have it in the hand.
Oh yeah, Alli White.
Yep.
And I'm going to link to her website in the show notes.
Cool.
I bought some prints for her that were super awesome. She's primarily a character designer who does illustrations kind of on the side, and I really, really dug her style.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
And we talked to a lot of people who were like, "Yeah, can we give you stuff? Can we give you promotional items? Can we send you things?" Which was really, really cool to have or to hear.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to doing a whole lot more singles clubs coming up in the future.
Very cool. Yeah, I my biggest accomplishment at the con was not spending all of my money buying Chris Uminga prints. Chris Uminga did the Hulk that's behind me in my Hulk shrine.
Oh, yeah.
And every time I go, he's got new stuff, and it's like, come on, man, you're gonna bankrupt me. But he has like the best. He has the best stuff, so I just had to like avoid his booth this time because I knew I had no budget for that. But every time at Emerald City, I'm like, come on, man.
I set a much smaller budget for myself this year or for Rose City than like I do at Emerald City. I went over hard. And I was just like looking at all the stuff I got and I was just like, it was worth it. It's okay. I don't need groceries. It's fine.
Other than Nailbiter and the new Invader Zim issue, I spent, I think, the entirety of my budget on fan work from people. Again,
Very
like
cool.
a lot of it, there were just so many good artists in the
Yeah.
Artist Alley area that like something about the Pacific Northwest, man. We've got some serious
water, man.
artists up here. And I kind of want to do the same thing. There were 3 in particular that I think everybody needs to go check out. Bree Paulson. Oh my God. Bree's faces are amazing. Drawing this comic with this derpy vampires. They were so goddamn funny. And just some serious skill here. Again, should be doing a lot more animation projects, like great conversations with this person. Elle Skinner also doing a queer comic that looks pretty wonderful. And a lot of really beautiful fantasy art and stuff like that. I blew some money on robot comics from this person and wouldn't leave this kind human being alone. That's something I think everyone needs to check out, some of these people. And really looking forward to this graphic novel, Verticome by Dan Barry. And I just think anybody into Metroid would probably freak out over this comic. I got to talk to a lot of independent and like small press people, and it was hard to walk around in cosplay with the things on my belt that started snapping off because of the weight of the cards that I picked up from people. Hell of a fan art section.
Yeah.
Hell of an artist alley.
Absolutely. I saw so much good stuff.
Yeah, I've been feeling burnt out the last couple of weeks. Haven't been on a couple episodes of View from the Gutters, and going to this con has just reinvigorated my love of comic books. It was so great to just see so many people invested in the thing that we all love.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I highly recommend, as we always do, to anybody, go check out a con in your area.
Yeah.
There are comic conventions all over the place. Just go. See things, talk to people, get stuff signed, take pictures with cosplayers, do whatever grabs your interest, because I guarantee you'll come out of it feeling good about comics.
Why are you listening to this? Why aren't you at a con? That's what
Yeah,
I was
you could
trying
be
to
at a
say.
con right now.
Yeah.
Go home.
You
And
can
then go to
never
a con.
home.
Hit
Yeah,
pause
don't
right
go
now,
home.
go to a con,
You
finish listening to
can
this
never
episode
go
on the
home.
con floor.
Yeah, anything else you guys saw you want to specifically talk about? Or
I just did a little shopping of various trades that might be useful for Dylan and I for Arc Reactions. So I picked up a few trades that looked interesting to me. And I bought a couple trinkets, but unfortunately I didn't write down who made them, or I could say who they were from. I got one of those bead, little bead creations where you kind of melt it to a piece of wax paper to hold shape.
perler bead
beads.
type stuff.
Yeah, I got a little lightsaber creation that some kid had made. Him and his dad were running a table with.
Oh, very
They
cool.
had things much nicer than that, but I just wanted something small. So I just got this little $2 lightsaber, but they had like little Halo figure, Metroid,
Cool.
Mario, all kinds of stuff. That was pretty cool.
Just a couple of last thoughts about things that I saw. I got to have my copy of Wicked and the Divine signed by Matt Wilson, who does the colors.
Nice.
And we had a really great conversation about kind of the history and evolution of color art. And it was really great and really gratifying to kind of talk to him, because I feel like we were really on the same page about how color has changed over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was this one booth. It was a full 3-dimensional body scan that would then 3D print a little statue of you.
That's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
By
I
little, I
saw
mean
that.
it was like 8 or 10 inches or something
Wow.
like that. Like, it wasn't tiny, but it was kind of the size of the superhero statues that you can get at the store, and it
Yeah.
cost about the same. It was like $150. But to get a custom statue of you, that's pretty fucking awesome.
That's great.
Especially like if you're a cosplayer. Like,
Or-
not only could you have a statue of a character,
Yeah.
but as yourself in that costume.
Yeah, that's great if you're a cosplayer or a horrible narcissist.
Yes.
Or both.
Actually, yeah. I was wearing my
Just
View from the
saying.
Gutters t-shirts both days. And if I had had the money, I would have absolutely gotten a statue of myself wearing my View from the Gutters t-shirt
Oh my God.
to put in the studio.
That's great,
Surprising
yeah.
no one.
Perfect. I did want special shout out to Geek Chic and Dan Posner for letting me charge our camera batteries in their booth, because camera batteries just die so quickly. But that was cool. And they were right next to a DeLorean and the Batmobile.
Oh, yeah,
And the first time we went there, I was just like so in a work mode that I did not notice a Batmobile that was 10 feet away from me. And another moment like that was I was walking and there was a dog right next to me while I'm like trying to move menus shit around on the Zoom recorder, and I was like, who the fuck is bringing a goddamn dog into comment? And I was like so pissed off, and look up and there's like this 70-year-old woman walking her dog around, and as she gets like 2 feet away from me, I'm like, oh, that's Carrie Fisher. I'm standing right next to Carrie Fisher and I was about to yell at her about her dog.
Shout out to Carrie Fisher's dog.
Yeah, which it was also hilarious because Kelly's husband Dakota walked like right by her and just was like, oh, cute dog, and then like didn't notice that it was Carrie Fisher, and it was like the best thing in the world.
What type of dog was it?
It was like a little brown like bulldog type thing, and then on like a leash, and she was like escorted by some Rose City handlers.
I saw that dog, did not see the person who was walking. I was like, oh, that's a cute dog, and then kept walking.
Yeah.
I probably walked by.
That was Carrie Fisher.
Also,
heroes.
It was there last year. It's in our Facebook gallery. There's a giant MODOK statue, and there were some AIM scientists who were cruising around. Yeah, that was really cool.
I always love the AIM guys. They're great. So many stormtroopers. Always fun. No Captain Phasma that I saw. One letdown.
Which is Captain Phasma?
She's the silver one from the new movie.
Oh, right.
Who is awesome.
Wait until the movie's actually out.
I know, but
I did see a Kylo Ren, though.
I saw a lot of Kylo Ren. I saw a lot of little Kylo Rens. So, that's good.
Yeah.
Embrace the dark side. But yeah, if we don't have anything else to
I think that's about it. Thank you for listening, everybody. And hopefully we'll see you at a con in the near future.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks. Bye.
We got a few coming up here.
Yes.
There's Center City in Centralia. There's Emerald City next year.
And Arc Reactions will be at Central City doing a live show as well as a panel on how to podcast.
So. Awesome. And there's also
Girl Con
tentatively
in October.
Yeah, we're tentatively going to Geek Girl Con. I am going to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, which is the following weekend down in Portland.
So
it's gonna be great.
We'll be around.
Yes.
Keep an eye on the space for announcements.
Yeah.
Kayleigh, let's go to Geek Girl Con.
Yes, we'll go.
Okay. Side note about Geek Girl Con, they don't have a list of guests, and that's the one thing that's keeping me from going. Because,
number 1 and number 2 on the list, us.
Well, okay, great.
Let's go.
That's a list of 2. Where's the rest? I mean, not that you guys aren't enough to go up there for, but I do get to see you
for ourselves
a lot. But yeah, okay. Anyway, we might be there. But yeah, have a great night or great day, everybody. Great morning,
and we'll see you again soon on a regular episode.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to our show, everybody. Special thanks to theouthousers.com for posting our episodes. You can always keep up to date with everything we're doing by checking out our website at viewfromthegutters.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel as we post new videos every week. You can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at viewfrthgutters. And please be sure to leave us an iTunes review, as it really does help new listeners find the show. And thanks again for listening. And as always, keep reading.